Well, welcome back, everyone. You made it. It's Friday, and we're here for episode 17 of Chris and Brick Business Edition. It's casual Friday, as you can see. I'm usually pretty casual anyway, and I'm a big NASA fan, and since we're doing so much on Mars right now, I'm just overjoyed at the opportunity to get to show my appreciation for all the great work that those guys are doing. Anyway. Today we want to talk about building some positive relationships in a professional environment. After all, we spend a lot of time with our colleagues, so it's worth the investment in time and energy, I think anyway, to have an actual friend at work. Now, I do know that many people like to try and keep work and personal lives separate, but it seems to me that's like trying to live two lives separately. Which is what I just said. So, anyway, point being is that I'm not saying you need to spend nights and weekends, with your colleagues, but it doesn't hurt to get to know people on a more personal level since you spend so much time with them. But remember this, and I think this is really important, is that, things happen in life. There's job changes, there's promotions, there's other life events. And so these are things that sometimes people may not feel like sharing with a colleague, even if you do get to, have some degree of closeness. So just keep that in mind. And in this case, I'm definitely no expert, but I would suggest a few things. One, I would have some reasonable expectations that things change, and try not to take it, too personally if the dynamics of your friendship shift, for various reasons, like the ones I mentioned, regarding life events or job changes, or maybe even a promotion occurs. Another would be, just like a lot of things in life, stuff happens. So the more fluid you can keep your friendship, the more likely you'll be to retain and at least retain the respect and gratitude that you've had for each other if the circumstances do change. What else? And I think it is important to note, though, that while I'm pointing these things out, that some work friendships do become lifelong, but not always. And I think you should be okay with that. People come in and out of our lives, pretty frequently. So I think you got to be prepared that they're not always going to last, and that's just sort of the nature of things. Another thing that I think is important is that, being a friend doesn't mean needing to know every aspect of someone's, personal life and dealings. So, be respectful of that they may have boundaries that they set with you that they may not set with others. And that's, again, just sort of the nature of people. People like to share what they like to share, and they like to keep private what they like to keep private. And if you can be understanding and kind of, again, fluid that way, I think you're more inclined to have a positive work experience with your colleagues. I have a scenario that goes through my mind of, I don't know if this has happened to you before, but have you ever had a conversation with a perfect stranger and then never saw them again, but it was such a nice conversation that it just stuck with you, and even though you never saw them again, it was enough for you to feel like you really appreciated the experience. I would say that if you can approach workplace friendships with a little bit of that mindset built in, you'll be surprised at how easy it is to be social, enjoy each other's company, learn from each other for sure, because you are at work, right? And still leave space to essentially happily live your separate life outside of work. Anyway, as always, this is not a comprehensive breakdown of workplace friendships. I'm, certainly not an expert by any means, but other than I've, been in the workplace for 30 years-ish or so. But these are just some observations and some suggestions that I would say have made the bulk of my experiences for sure very positive. That's kind of it for Friday. We're going to keep it short and sweet and light, and hope everyone has a relaxing weekend, and look forward to talking to everybody on Monday. So, take it easy, and we will talk soon.